if you have a radar detector, you absolutely need to have it installed with a blend mount. It's lightweight, durable, made of CNC machined aluminum with a black anodized finish. They have a vehicle fit guide to make sure it's the perfect fit for your car. I also use the hardwire kit for a cleaner setup. No more suction cup marks on your windshield. There's also a patented spring clip designed for easier removal. Make sure you guys use my link in the description below for a discount on your order. Today we're going to be talking about 5 things you didn't know about the Audi RS7. But first, cold start. First thing, the Audi RS7 has wave brakes. A lot of the higher end Audi performance vehicles have been equipped with these brakes. The rotors themselves, if you look at the very edge, they're scalloped in. There's a little piece that's been cut off, hence the name wave rotor. If you look around the entire rotor, they are drilled. What this does is it slightly lowers unsprung weight, but also, most importantly, it increases the surface area for heat rejection. So it's something they put on higher performance Audis. And with something like the RS7, this is a big, heavy sedan with a lot of horsepower, 560 horsepower. It gets going quite quickly. You need good brakes to help slow it down. And theoretically, given that it is an RS model, this thing is supposed to be track capable. These brakes are part of the formula. They look really cool too. If you just pull up next to an RS7 and you look at the brakes, you can immediately tell, oh, look at that, wave rotors. One downside is the wave rotors, the brakes on the RS7, even for just steel brakes, are shockingly expensive. If you go to a dealership, expect to pay somewhere between $4,000 to $5,000. Just parts alone, sourcing them independently, minimum of $2,000 for parts. I have a video for RS7 brakes that I did on mine when I shortly after I bought it. You can check that one out. But one thing I'm guessing you guys did not know, wave brakes on the Audi RS7. The second thing involves the optional Bang & Olufsen sound system. It was a $4,900 option, and if you got it, you have these metal speaker grills on the doors. But more importantly, when you start the car up, the 2 little tweeters that sit in the dash rise up out of the dashboard, which is just really cool. You have one there, one there. Now again, it's 1,330 watts of sound. It is quite an expensive option, but it's a little bit extra thing that is really cool. And when I was shopping for my car, I absolutely needed to have the B&O sound system. The next thing is, the Audi RS7 has a 4-liter twin-turbo V8, and the most important thing to know is this is a hot V, which means the turbochargers sit inside the valley between the 2 banks of cylinders, right in there. It is a hot V. It produces quite a bit of heat, coincidentally, so when you turn on an RS7, even for the briefest period of time, the fans will definitely be running quite a bit. It makes 560 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. So interesting thing to note, the engine in this vehicle is related to the one that you would find in a Audi S6, Audi S7, Audi A8. Same 4.0 twin-turbo V8. The RS6 and RS7 have upgraded turbos, so they will obviously make more horsepower. And the other thing to note, the difference between the powertrains in the RS7 and the S7, S6, you get a 7-speed dual clutch in the S6, S7, and the lower horsepower output version of the 4.0. In this one, it couldn't quite handle the torque, so they put the ubiquitous ZF 8-speed torque converter automatic that you find in many, many performance vehicles in the world. One more thing to note about the engine that most of you probably do not know, but I'll cover more in a different video. This engine currently has a slight issue with the turbo oil screens. It was more common on the earlier builds and in the S6 and S7, but essentially there's a little oil screen that filters debris going from your oil to the turbos itself, and if that gets clogged up, you starve your turbos of oil, your turbos blow, and you're out a lot of money. So it's an issue with a lot of these. People have done, there's Audi revisions for the turbo oil screen. They've changed up the design. Some people have completely removed it. A lot of threads on the forums talking about it, but it's absolutely something to be aware. Brilliant motor, it makes a ton of horsepower, it sounds great, but it has quite a significant Achilles heel with regards to the turbo oil screen. The next thing, the Audi RS7 has 2 different kinds of suspension. You can have air suspension, which is what my car has, or you could have DRC. DRC stands for Dynamic Ride Control. And what that means is you have sportier steel springs, and also the DRC dampers are linked with hydraulic fluid diagonally across the car, which allows it to control body roll better, it handles a lot better, will corner better. At the trade-off that DRC definitely rides quite a bit more firm than the air suspension. With air suspension, you can adjust your ride height. You see in the MMI system, in the top corner here, we have raise. You can completely raise the entire car's ride height in order to go up a steep driveway or overcome an obstacle. And then through the different drive modes, comfort and dynamic are very apparent. Dynamic will lower the car even more, makes it even firmer for better handling. And then you can also set your individual. I can show you that right now. There is an option for air suspension. I can change it between, I have it set to comfort now, automatic or dynamic. DRC absolutely has handling advantages. They were saying that around a track, the DRC car could be significantly faster than the RS7. I have driven both, and it handles body roll quite a lot better. But the trade-off is a much firmer ride. I prefer the cushioniness of the air suspension because this is a big luxury sedan at the end of the day. The last thing, the Audi RS7 is extremely practical. It's a hatchback, so the rear opening is very large. You can fit a lot of stuff in here. So we have it open here. Unlike a normal sedan, the opening is quite large. It's powered. You can see I've got Pelican case, some camera gear, some car cleaning supplies. You do have a parcel shelf here and another cover here. So when the trunk is actually closed, when the hatch is actually closed, you can't see what you have down there through the rear window, because normally it would be closed off entirely. Now that is tinted, so it's harder to see. You can also fold the rear seats down around here, fold that side down, open up the hatch again, and then also fold this side down. So have a nice flat floor. You can fit a lot of stuff in there. I have put very long, like an office table, that stretched from the end here all the way to the back of the front seats. And I realized, like a pickup truck or something, you couldn't necessarily fit that inside the vehicle. Obviously it can hang out the back, but the length of space and the cargo capacity of the RS7 is extremely advantageous. The only thing that I would love even more is if we did get the wagon here, the RS6 Avant. That's even more practical. Unfortunately, that was not available for the C7 and C7.5 generation cars, so we have to settle with the RS7. But in terms of practicality, you'd be extremely surprised how much you can fit in here. From grocery trips to, trips to the hardware store, to putting all my camera gear in the RS7. It's probably one of my favorite features, that something of this performance level, this fun to drive, this awesome in general, can be such a practical vehicle. Those are my 5 most important things that you absolutely need to know about the Audi RS7. I've learned a lot of them through my time with the car, owning it, driving it around, using it on a day-to-day basis. I really do love this car. I'm going to be filming a couple more videos with the RS7. I'm going to do something like the most important options you need to get on the car. What do you need to know before you buy a used Audi RS7? With that, make sure you guys check out the other videos on the channel. Make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe button below. Thanks for watching.